Ciao. Let's talk about it. There's a woman, a white woman, on this app right now who is taking recommendations to call people's individual churches. She plays a crying baby MP3 sound in the background and pretends to be a mother with a crying infant who hasn't eaten in 48 hours and asks them if they can help her. They're hanging up in her face. And there were only 3 churches that have helped her so far. A black church, hello, amen. A mosque, okay? And a small Appalachian church tried to help her. These are the 3 groups that tried to help her. Every other church has hung up in her face or told her that they can't help her. This is a test that we were telling y'all to pay attention to and have discernment with when it came to post November 1st as these SNAP benefits cut.
When are you guys going to wake up and realize that a lot of the churches you're going to are pyramid schemes? They're money laundering. They're scammers. Your tithing is not going where it should be going. When are you going to wake up and realize that? I know y'all not going to like this one. There is a woman on this app that is doing essentially a social experiment where she's calling different churches in Kentucky of different denominations, saying that she has a hungry baby, playing even baby screaming sounds in the background, saying she has a hungry baby and needs formula, and sees what church is willing to help her. And she's done like almost 30 churches now. You want to know how many churches out of like those 30 churches that have actually been willing to help? 3. 3 churches. 3 churches. A Catholic church, a mosque, and a Baptist church. Always minorities. It's always going to be minorities. Never a white nationalist Christian church. Never will be one of those. But it's just very interesting how y'all are so surprised. This is one of the reasons why I have turned away from religion. Now, would I say I'm still faithful? Yes. Do I believe in God? Yes. But I don't believe in organized religion. I don't. And this is only the one of the many reasons. And shout out to the Catholic Church, because I was raised Catholic. Shout out to the Catholic Church. Like, they called back and were trying to help her. So I got to put shout out to Catholic Church. Even though I may not attend church, that really honestly made me proud. But when are y'all going to wake up? When are you going to wake up? That church is a political pawn now too, as well. Your churches are becoming a political pawn. And most of these churches are out for your money. They're out for your money, not really to help the needy, not to clothe the poor, not to aid the sickly, not to feed the hungry. Like, wake up, people. This is the times we're in.
Hello guys, hello brothers and sisters, and welcome back to today's episode. As always, I'm your host, African Beast, and you're so much welcome. In case you're watching us for the first time, please don't forget to subscribe. You can always give your opinion in the comment section. And today's episode, it's something that is actually super fascinating, because a white woman actually decided, to give a test to almost 26 churches to see if they can really help feed her baby. And what fascinates me is that despite discrimination that has been going on with black churches, saying that black churches are loud, it's only 2 black churches that came out that they were actually ready to help. And above all, the mosque offered, direct answer, willing to support. And this tells the community and people that it's not about the name of the denomination. It's not about the race. It is about your actions. Historically, black churches were never just about Sunday sermon. They were survival centers during slavery, Reconstruction, and Jim Crow. They fed the hungry, educated the poor, and protected the vulnerable when nobody else would. That DNA of compassion still lives, even if the structure of church has changed. So it's not surprising that black churches responded. That is not charity. That is actually culture. And what I would say to the mosque, the response to the mosque, the fact that a mosque stepped up shows that compassion crosses religions lines. While many Christians today focus on who is right, Muslim on the other hand often focuses on what is right. It's a reminder that faith should be judged by action, not denomination. And we can forget that this have actually surprised many because of how black churches have been discriminated. Black churches have been discriminated against in several ways. First of all, is financially. They receive fewer grants, less outside support, and often operate in underfunded neighborhood. And socially, they are often seen as loud, political, or radical when they speak truth to power. And spiritually, the narrative of holiness has been dominated by Eurocentric imagery, making black spirituality seem secondary, even though it's deeply rooted in the origins of faith itself. But despite that, black churches have carried the weight of the entire people's survival for generations. And something I was thinking that what can we advise the black community in religion? First of all, don't confuse God with institution. The Spirit of God doesn't live in a building, a bishop, or a denomination. It lives in compassion. That's right. Second, of course, rebuild community first spirituality. Rebuild community first spirituality. Whether church, mosque, or cultural space, build systems that feed, teach, and empower our own. Then, of course, thirdly, support and modernize black churches. Push them to be more action-based, youth-centered, transparent, and tech-aware. And of course, last but not least, unite beyond religion. The struggle isn't Christian versus Muslim. It's moral people versus a cold system. In short, that mother's test wasn't just a social experiment. It was a mirror showing who's truly living their faith and who's just preaching it. So guys, that is all I can say for this episode, but I think it was actually a nice test, and I think that it's nice to see that the oppressed, those who are actually told that they are loud, they are political, are the ones who actually came out to show that they are the givers, to show their generosity, to show that they don't just preach, they do it action. Helping and uplifting other is the culture of black people. That is all I can say. You can always give your opinion in the comment section. Until we meet next time, peace, love, and harmony. I was your host, African Beast.
There is a reason why churches do not have to pay taxes, because they're supposed to be a net positive community good. What they're doing is being a community touch point so people can go there for guidance, help, resources, all of those things. That's why they don't have to pay taxes. So you're tithing to these people, you're giving money to these churches, you're giving money to these organizations, you're being made to feel like shit if you don't have enough. They are sucking you dry. And if it were you, because it could always be you, especially in America, they would hang you out to dry. These churches don't know that this isn't really a woman starving with an infant who hasn't eaten in 48 hours. This is their true character. And this is why I made that podcast episode last year about how black people shouldn't be Christian. And it's been proven time and time again. Obviously, that's a tongue-in-cheek title, obviously. But we saw it proven with the Charlie Kirk thing. We are seeing it with the Snap thing. Whatever brand of Christianity some of y'all are sucking up, particularly the black people who are spouting out shit like, I can't be too pro-black, so I'm anti-Christian. You are being lied to. You are under spells, people. You are under spells. This is the whole point of Sinners, or one of the many points. Christianity as vampiric. Colonization as vampiric. Sucking you dry. Turning you into a shell of yourself until you're a carbon copy of the person that colonized you. Until your movements are shadow movements of what they do. That was one of the main points, looking at white supremacy as vampire. And some of y'all, after Charlie Kirk died, after the SNAP benefits, have been proving time and time again that your brand of Christianity that you're deciding to give money to, support, and spread is really the prison that you're locking yourself into. Y'all were over here calling Deontay Kyle the Antichrist when your church wouldn't give you a damn thing except for a hung up telephone in your face if you were struggling. Who's the fool? It's not me, bae.
We gotta tax the churches, okay? Even before Nick Haley started doing this riveting investigative journalism, the fact that evangelical churches and pastors often pressure their congregation about partisan politics from the pulpit and still got to enjoy tax-exempt status was a big problem for me. But hearing white evangelical church after white evangelical church refuse to help this mother, hearing her baby wailing in the background with just like a simple can of formula because she wasn't a tithing member, really drove the point home. If they're to continue to enjoy tax-exempt status, there needs to be more transparency and there needs to be a requirement of allocation of a specific amount of funds to community service, philanthropy, some sort of community aid. And the only reason I'm not just blanket stating they should lose tax-exempt status altogether are because of the Catholic churches, the Mosque, the Buddhist temple, and Black churches who immediately offered assistance without requirement or question. These videos have done more to show that these Christian nationalist churches, which is exactly what they are, white evangelical churches are just Christian nationalist Chuck E. Cheese with a PDF file at the pulpit who thinks more about Donald Trump than Jesus Christ.
So I've been calling your churches to test to see if they would help feed a starving baby.
So I wanted to give an update on this woman who's doing this social experiment because I did a video on this. It blew up and there are a lot of white Christians who are big mad at me. If you don't know this woman, if she's not coming across your feed, her name is Nick Haley. She's doing a social experiment where she's pretending to be a mother of a 2-month-old baby and out of formula. And she's calling churches to be like, hey, can you help? To date, she has called 39 religious institutions. 30 white Christian churches have said no to her. No to helping to feed her baby. But 9 people said yes. And 6 out of the 9 who said yes are either Black or brown. And I think that is really telling. Even more telling is 1 out of the 30 who said no was Charlie Kirk's own fucking church. Charlie Kirk, who had a lot to say about Black people, a lot to say about Muslim people, and yeah, his own church said no to helping feed a starving baby. And people are really mad at me because I highlighted one of the calls that she did to a mosque. Like, it's not my fault that a Muslim man was amazing and 30 Christian churches sucked. But for the update, I really want to highlight the other people who said yes. She called 3 Black churches. They all said yes. She also called a Buddhist temple, and they said yes. 2 of the 9 who said yes were Catholic churches. 1 was predominantly Latine. But before Catholics get too excited, she did call 1 Catholic church, and they said no. She also called a really poor Appalachian church, and the sweet old man said yes. So 6 out of 9 people who said yes were Black or brown. And I think that says a fucking hell of a lot between white religious people and Black and brown religious people. Now, I'm half Indian, despite looking like this, and I just know that if Nick Haley were to call a Sikh Gurdwara, they would not just say yes, they would be like, how can we feed you as well? Because if the baby's starving, the mom's starving, as somebody in my comments said. I love this social experiment so fucking much, and to Nick Haley, thank you so much for doing this.